Greetings, this is Skylar Saunders. What's current? Well, I've seen the film. I've seen the film by Malcolm Washington. It's the adaptation of Mr. August Wilson's great play, his Pulitzer Prize winning play, The Piano Lesson. And it is excellent. It is a great show. It is a great movie. I highly recommend it. If you haven't seen it yet, go out to see it on Netflix. Definitely tell a friend. I'm just checking on something right now. I just posted a review. I'm saying right now, let me see, grade. All right, so excellent show, great show, loved it. TX Carnage is in the house saying, go back to Jesus. It's Sunday. Still can't go back to Jesus. It's not going to happen. Just tell him right now. He hasn't given me a good enough reason to go back to Jesus, but I can tell you this for a good reason to watch The Piano Lesson. It is a great conflict, one of the best conflict, in all of the canon of literature and all of the plays and films has such a great way of making it. This is getting on my nerves. I'm trying to make this. It's not working right. Damn it. I'm trying to make it. The gig line. This is called the gig line, kids. It's not. All right, so that's what it is. All right, so it's an excellent adaptation. Great performances from John David Washington. What's his name? Let me make sure I get the names right. Samuel L. Jackson. Danielle Deadwyler. She's excellent. She's great. She just pops right off the screen. She's a great actress. She has great lines. The tweak is heavy. Big Daz. Salute. Make sure you hit up my PayPal, my Venmo, and my Cash App. Cash App is at the top of the top chat. Salute to you. Big Daz. Salute. So, it's very vital that you watch this film. It's really great because it has moments of just sheer, clashing. It's that tension that you need in a stage play or a novel or a work of art and work of fiction. You can see the conflict. Even in a painting, I think you can see conflict, and you can see, the difference between an idea against another idea. That's what's played out in The Piano Lesson. I mean, I'll give you a short synopsis. It's about this young man named Boy Willie. He goes with his friend Lyman. They go to a business to sell watermelons, and they go all the way from Mississippi to Pittsburgh to sell these watermelons. And in his head, Boy Willie, his whole goal is to have a portion of what he saved up combined with the sales of the watermelons, and then make the third, make the whole pie, the 2/3, and you have the third part is the piano to sell. So he's very excited. He's very motivated because he knows that the piano is going to be worth a lot of money because it's got these intricate, beautiful carvings on it that were made, decades before. So it's just that conflict. And the woman Bernice, Deadwyler's character, Danielle Deadwyler's character, she is she's not having it. To put it lightly, she's not having it. She's like, no, that piano's not going out of this house. I don't care what you say. I don't care what you do. You can say whatever you want. And then there's Uncle Doker, that's played by Samuel L. Jackson. He reprised his role from the Broadway play, and he was in the original Broadway play, but he played Boy Willie, so he had a different role this time. And he's excellent in this film. He's very relaxed. He's the anchor of the whole story. He keeps everything. He's like, all right, why don't y'all stop fussing, stop going back and forth and saying all these things against each other? This tie is really getting on there. I don't know how. Got this tie. It's getting on nerves though. All right, I think I got it. But yeah. So at the crux of it also is male and female relations. There's a tub scene that's very famous now. I think it's going to be how it was handled was very classy. It essentially is a masturbation scene, but you don't really get that sense. It's not. It's like it's very delicate. It's very almost. It's not sanitized. I don't want to say that like it was like they had to whitewash it or something like that, but it's handled very delicately. So I'll say that much. It's handled very delicately. Female masturbation. So, with that said, it's a PG-13 movie, so it had to be within the bounds of saying that it could be put on screen. So I think that this is the strongest of all the adaptations. I think I can go in order. Number 3 is probably Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, which was good. There are some moments where I really loved. I loved Chadwick Boseman, rocking power to him. I loved his performances and what he had to say. I didn't like how the play ended, but that's something different in the movie too. But it stands up against most other things. But that's number 3. Then 2 is Fences, and then number 1 is this film, The Piano Lesson. Directed by a 33-year-old who was very sure-handed. It didn't seem like he copped out, or could you kind of make it like this? Could you see he didn't have that? He had a sure hand. He had an ego. I like how he expressed his ego in this film. He stepped up. He manned up. He was very strong and very forthright about his direction and his skills behind the camera. He allowed his cast to breathe, to have room, to have vacancy within the context of the text, in the context of the story. So I think that was a very admirable thing that he did. That's very admirable, because we have so many directors that are clowns, and I say, oh yeah, get on this and do that. Get on this and go over there and do that. I don't care. Is it in the script? Well, if it's not in the script, then don't do it. Like, he didn't do that. He gave them options. He gave them breathing room. He gave them space. He allowed them to breathe. So I give tremendous respect to the wonderkin director, Malcolm Washington, who just happens to be Denzel Washington's son, and his other son, John David Washington, plays Boy Willie, like I said. But they do a great job, and Denzel Washington produced it. He bought the rights to all the plays, and over the next 10 to 15 years, I think they're all going to be produced. I think, and especially on Netflix, because Ma Rainey and Ma Rainey and this film have been on Netflix. I can't remember if Fences is on Netflix. I can't remember. It may be. I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. But yeah. So, oh my God, I can't take this. I can't take it, you guys. This is crazy. I think I got it. That's the best we're gonna do. So it's a very special kind of film, very delicate. I'm an atheist. There's no ghosts. There are no ghosts. There's no Holy Ghost. There's no Jesus. There's no God. Together, Jesus was of Nazareth, was just a man. He claimed his way to the unknown and unknowable. That's all that there is. That's the facts. That's just the truth. That's just reality. If you believe in mysticism, I respect you. At least you believe in something. Yeah, I don't believe in any deities. Not one deity at all. Nothing. And anybody that's on the fence, though, that's the problem I have. I don't have problems too much with believers. Believers actually have a modicum of respect for it, because they at least believe something. and they're not like um what do they call, oh my god, agnostics that believe, well, maybe there is a God, there could be a God, there might be a God, I don't know, maybe there isn't, I don't know, I can't tell. But you know what I can tell? I can tell you about my main man, Pangs, Life Strong Apparel. Go to this website. Make sure you put in the code Skylar10. Let me see. Life Strong. Make sure you let me first tell about the products. Damn. Why you should put in Life Strong 10. Because he has fruit infused sea moss like elderberry, soursop, pineapple, mango, and blueberry. I've personally tried the blueberry. It is excellent. I would recommend it to anyone to have. It's very good. It's tasty. I had to ration it for about a week or two because I was going to eat the whole jar. So definitely check out lifestrongapparel.com and put in the code Skylar10, SKYLER10. And you get a 10% discount on all purchases. With a Skylar10 code. Check out lifestrongapparel.com and be very well. It's for nutrition. It's very good for you. I heard that the Irish, when the potato famine happened, they used sea moss, to be used as as nutrients, in place of the potato. So that happened in the 19th century. I think the early 20th century too. But they use sea moss as a nutritional replacement. So go out to lifestrongapparel.com and enjoy those products. All right. Like I enjoyed the product from August Wilson. August Wilson, my favorite playwright of all time. No one else. No one else comes close. I mean, when he was alive, I was like, he's my favorite living playwright. Then I was like, when he died, I was like, back to maybe Shakespeare. I never read Chekhov. I never read Strindberg. I never read too much Americans, Tennessee Williams, or I read Arthur Miller, but I didn't read Eugene O'Neill. I'm gonna check out what the different playwrights are. Strindberg. And Ibsen. Ibsen is the third one. Ibsen. Those are the big three in Europe. Ibsen, Chekhov, and Strindberg. If I'm saying that correct, I might be chopping up their last names. But those three, I've never read before, but I've read all of August Wilson's plays. I went to one live, Ma Rainey's Black Bottom, with a beautiful white woman. We had good times together. But yeah, so I definitely recommend highly the August Wilson's The Piano Lesson. And but the question here is that I posed for this evening is, what lessons can be learned from the piano lesson? Well, the lesson I took away from the most was, when you have a conflict over something that's so serious and so precious as something that was tied to slavery, I mean, that just is powerful. That's just immediate and stark and striking. The power of that, the power behind that, it's just you learn something automatically, and that's what he said. Like, August Wilson wanted to make a double entendre, maybe even a triple entendre. Bernice playing the piano, and then her daughter Maritha playing the piano. That was like having lessons in, like, literally a piano lesson, but he wanted to have the lesson taught from the family point of view, the point of view of two feuding, a brother and a sister, going back. One brother very ambitious, very tied to the future, and what could possibly be, to make more money, to make a lot of money. And the sister wanted to hold on to the reins of history and of legacy and visions of the past, and to cling tight to them. But the only flaw I think is that ghost kind of connotation. That whole Sutter's ghost, the white man who fell down a well or something crazy. Like that's the only thing that I think holds this movie and the play itself back, is the fact that the ghost retelling, it gets, it's just weird. It's just a strange kind of angle to perpetrate in such a way that surrounded by gorgeous language, the rhythm and the pacing and the actual wording and how the words are coupled together. It's poetry on the page, and it comes across on stage, I would imagine, and on film, on the screens, big and small. So we have to at least come to that point where we can say that August Wilson has crafted something so magnificent, so beautiful. He in his work. That's what's so beautiful about works themselves. They're alive. They're living. They're a living text. That's what's so wonderful. They're actually living texts that actually make sense and make connections. And this is the thing that I was wondering too, because I was just watching a documentary about Broadway, and they're like, this is what I got from it. I could be completely wrong. Tell me I'm stupid, Skylar. Tell me I'm stupid. I don't care. But it was like they were trying to play August Wilson, like he was like a toady or like a token. Like, oh, we gotta get a black guy, and they had the guy Chris, wasn't it Charles Fuller? Let me make sure I got his name right. Charles Fuller. I gotta make sure I got his name right. Yeah, he wrote A Soldier Story, won the Pulitzer, but not much else after that. We need a guy that can just churn them out, churn them and burn them. And they weren't expecting, I think, the quality of August Wilson. They thought they would get, receipts, just comedies maybe, or action packed, without very little, substance and meat on the bones. But they got a black man who could pass, and hating Skip Gates, Lewis Gates. I think he was hating one time. He was saying how August Wilson could pass, and he's technically a white guy, and he's just making black theater. That's a little bit of hate there, sir. That's some hatred. You're hating on the man. But in all honesty, that's what I took away from this Broadway, spectacle. Salute. I liked and loaded. Salute the king. Salute, sir. Bring some bodies over here. If you can't bring any money, bring some bodies. I got one. You're my only customer. I'm serving and swerving off the curb. So that's what that is. That's the reality behind that. So I got two people, 2 likes. How about that? So there's one other person here. Is it still Carnage? I can't tell. I don't even know. He was the first one to chime in. Then King came in. Have you seen the movie? Or do you plan on seeing the movie, King? Do you plan on seeing the movie, The Piano Lesson? It's on Netflix. So, I have to really, discuss all of this, with the greatest intentions. And one of the best intentions that I can say is about Baja Jackson. Baja Jackson, or B Jackson, BEEJACKSON 5478 on YouTube. He has the sardines. He had on the grill, by the way. Not just sardines, but sardines on the grill. He's got He's got near beer or non-alcoholic beer. He's got fried chicken, and he's talking about female strippers. So if you like any or all of these things, make sure you check him out. You haven't seen a movie in like 2 years. What is the reason behind that? Is that just you don't feel like it, or you just you've been so busy you haven't had time to get a movie in? But Baja Jackson, B Jackson, check him out. Go to his page, get his subscription numbers up. Make sure you check him out. Okay. King is saying that he hasn't seen a movie in 2 years. I wonder why. I'm wondering why. What was the reason for that? He's probably a busy man, probably getting money somehow, something like that. But so what I think is just so resonant. What resonates the most about this film is the family structure. Like I said, Doker is the anchor. And he tries to anchor both ships, Bernice's and Boy Willie's, and they're going back and forth and saying, but what if I had this? I'm just trying to sell these watermelons, and I got my own share. And if I have this piano, then I can make my own land. I can have my own place. I can put some cotton up, or put some tobacco up, or I can do all these things and make a lot of money and make a huge dent into my world. He even says in one point in the movie, he's like, you know what? I didn't wake up. I'm paraphrasing, but he's essentially said, I'm not a Rockefeller. I'm not like John D. Rockefeller. See, he's all set up. Everything's all good for him. If I was just a John D. Rockefeller, I'll be all right, and my children will be all right. That's bringing kids into this world. Like he was saying, that's a chopped up, ugly, terrible rendition of what he said, but that's the essence of what he was saying. But it's so engrossing, it's so moving, it's so powerful. Coming from a young director, this is like in the heyday kind of thing. I mean, he's gonna. I could see a nomination. He's gonna at least get a nomination from the Oscars, but I hope he gets a nomination from NAACP Image Awards. I hope he gets an Image Award, because it's like, why are they saying Oscar so white? That is so racist. That's racist against white people, not against black people. You're going against. Make your own. Make your own awards. Create your own, like NAACP. Even though NAACP was started by white people and continues to be run by, I think, mainly white people. Let that be known. Make your own awards. Make your own series. Just like Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry, he made his own studios. He had a conversation with August Wilson before. He asked him about one of his plays, one of his movies that he made, would make later on. A Jazzman's Blues. He would have probably never made Jazzman Blues without oh my God, Medea. All those Medea movies, all those plays, the books, everything, all that came out of the mind of the same person who made $1 billion, has his own studio, can create as many different works as he wants, on as many stages as he wants. That's true power. I just saw Cat Williams purchase a former military base. He's claiming that land. 50 Cent, he's got land in Shreveport, Louisiana. This is what it's all about. This is get your own. Why are you groveling? Saying, "Oh, please give us some food. We'd like to have our own. We'd like to have something too. Can we take some crumbs off the table, please?" No, go for your own. Build your own. Like the great man that came down from, people want to say, from a different world, but he was just another man. But the great and honorable Elijah Muhammad said, "Get off the plantation, build your own nation." And that's what I'm doing. I'm doing it on a very small scale, very minuscule. It's kind of tiny, but it's mine. Nobody can claim these videos except me. I am the writer, director, producer, executive producer, assistant director, key grips, Good to go. Thank you. Thank you. That's what I need. King Hazy only Hayes YouTube channel. Sub to Baja. That's what I like to see. I like to see in action my words actually happening. So as I'm talking to you right now about powering your own self, building your own self up, making your own self-worth go up, no matter what, through whatever, by any means necessary. It's close. I mean, not every means necessary, but by most means necessary, I guess is the best way to say it. By rational means necessary, that's the best way to say it. Do it on your own. Just do it, and just do it. Like I'm not exactly on my own. There's Mr. Chorstar Terrain. Without him, I wouldn't be even close to where I am now. He started me with, out of the gate, had me running, and I had I think 150 subscribers when I first started. I had like 150 to maybe 180 subscribers. By the summer, that was in the spring, and then in the summer I had like 200 subscribers. This is 2023. This is last year. Then within 6 to 8 months, I was up to like 600 subscribers. Now I'm up to 815 subscribers and counting. Sometimes it goes down, but mostly it goes up. So I'm appreciative to anybody and everybody that has ever chipped in, put in $1. I made thousands of dollars off of this platform. It could have been zero. Could have been zero, but I made thousands of dollars. And it's because of people like, I say 5 people. There's 5 people. There's Far Gray. I'll talk about him later. Chore, August Wilson, Troy Star Terrain, and Ayn Rand. So 4 black men and a white woman. I'm not going to go any further than that because this is the internet and people get, oh, well, let's see what he's talking about here. Huh? This is 4 black men and a white woman. What's going on here? But no, that was my influences in high school. I always loved the line, don't ever let your schooling get away in the way of your education. I think that was Mark Twain. Let me make sure. It was Mark Twain. But it was actually Grant Allen. Grant Allen is usually attributed to falsely attributed to Mark Twain, but it is actually said by his contemporary novelist Grant Allen. Don't let schooling interfere with your education. I never did. I always was in the library. I was always in the books. I was always watching TV and movies, not doing my homework. Maybe I could have been better off, financially. Maybe I could have been better off in a different setting than my parents' house, Could have been better, maybe. Who knows? But I'm striving, so that's all that matters. I'm scratching and surviving. It probably goes down due to people losing their channels or troll channels that have been reported. Ignore the fluctuations. Yes, I think that's true. See, King Hazy has a insight into YouTube and how it works. So I appreciate King's diligence and his words of wisdom that he's provided my dumb ass. To be honest with you. So, but it all goes back to the lessons that can be learned from the piano lesson. You can be ambitious and want more and be creative and think long term and want to do something to survive and thrive, and also still hold on to the past, still hold on to the history, recognize legacy, recognize your ancestors, what that means, and understand what kind of commonalities you have between your ancestors and people that came before you, your predecessors, your forebears, everything that came before you. That's what is so amazing. What also is amazing is my main man, Dot Focus. Dot Focus is focused on. Did you see what I did there? He's definitely on the track to make it interesting and fun for you to watch Call of Duty runs on the internet. So it's DOTFOCUS underscore one underscore. And you can check out all his different. He's an assassin with that sniper rifle. He's a problem, and he also has traditional rifles as well. He makes it interesting. He makes it fun. He has a good time. He's talking on the radio. I can hear sometimes I come in. Oh, Sky just came in the room like that. Sometimes I just come in the room sometimes. It's good. It's a good vibe. It's a good vibe. He's not going to shoot up a shopping mall or a school or a theater or a concert or a gay bar or a library or wherever the hell, shopping center, a grocery store. He's not going to shoot up all these different places and people saying, oh, well, we got to curb guns and we have to take away the guns. No, add more guns. Take away the felons. Take away the criminals. That's what you have to do. Divine 7 says, how do you know that? How do I know what, Divine 7? What's that? That's the second lesson I learned from watching the piano lesson. Another lesson I learned was the fact that it doesn't matter what your skin color is. You can make it in this country, especially in today's world. I mean, this was back in the 30s. This movie is set in the 30s. This play was set in the 1930s, but it had ties back to the 20s and even to the 19th century. So, it is a totally different field. This is a totally different way. People believe there's a cabal of super rich and highly powerful people that convene every few days or every few years or every whatever the amount of time is. People they think that they rule the world. I don't necessarily think that. I don't, like Ayn Rand says, she doesn't believe in those kind of conspiracies. She doesn't revel in them. She doesn't spend her time investigating what some people like to call the Illuminati and stuff like that. So that's one of the things that I think is a lesson learned. You have to learn about reality. I think that was kind of like the ghost story in the piano lesson, kind of like that scary sense of something hovering over us we can't really control, but it infests and seeps into our lives no matter what we do. It's like people say, like, the cabal allowed more of the gay mafia to be allowed into the discussion. How they took over, pretty much. They took over words, they took over the rainbow, they took over everything that's coming through. But it was that time. It's like the 1960s. The cabal at that time allowed for the blacks to get better footing and positioning in society. They may have dropped the ball in the 80s because the black family unit was destroyed almost. It was damaged severely. The black father was not part of the scene all the time. So we have to remind ourselves of that. Remind ourselves of those facts. That's part of the reality of all this, because it's just like August Wilson. August Wilson it's not like he just like cranked them out and just said, okay, these are my plays. He like delved into the soul of the human being. Like, he had people come up to him and literally say, I'm from Sweden, or I'm from China, I'm from Switzerland, I'm from Mozambique, and that's my sister up there. I know that's my uncle. I know that character. He had that happened to him many times. So I mean, that's the power of his writing. That's the power that inspired me. That's the power that motivates me. So I'd like to thank you. I do 35 minutes shows. I'm going over 35 minutes right now. So I appreciate everybody that came in, from Carnage to King to even Divine 7. I appreciate you all. Take care.